Okay, so this one's going to be let's move this. The second physics unit. Let's see, yes, second unit. Just going over some stuff. Two types of waves, transverse and longitudinal. Sound is a longitudinal wave. But light is obviously a transverse. So, the peak is the top of the wave, the trough is the bottom of the wave, the frequency is the number of waves that pass a certain point in 1 second, measured in hertz. Also, we'll go back through this after questions, obviously. Wavelength is the distance from one point on a wave to the same point on the next wave. Amplitude is the distance from the middle to the top of the wave, amplitude determines the volume. A small amplitude equals a quiet sound, and then a high amplitude equals a louder sound. Frequency determines the pitch. A low frequency equals a deeper pitch, and then a high frequency equals a higher pitch. Sound travels 330 ms. Light travels 300 million, but we won't worry about that. Echolocation can be used to determine direction and motion. Bats emit sound waves. These reflect off the prey, and they can use this to work out the prey location. So, a emitted sound wave travels at 330 ms, meters per second, and takes 6 seconds to return. 330 times 6 equals 1,180, which you need to divide by 2 because obviously it's going back. You get 990 meters away. Wave speed equals wavelength times frequency. The amount of thermal energy something has depends on the kinetic energy of its particles. The faster the particles move, the more thermal energy it has. Energy is always transferred from hot objects to cold objects until thermal equilibrium is reached. 3 methods of heat transfer: conduction, heat transferred through solids; convection, heat transferred through liquids; radiation, heat transferred through infrared. Waves. A renewable energy source is one that can easily be replaced, so it is not used up. A non-renewable energy source is one that will eventually run out. So renewable energy source is one that never runs out. Kinetic is energy connected to the movement of an object. Thermal energy connected to links temperature. Nuclear, the energy in the nucleus. Magnetic, the energy between 2 magnetic poles. Electric, the energy in a circuit. Gravitational potential energy, the energy showed in a raised object, or stored in a raised object. Elastic potential, when it is deformed, stretched. The energy stored in bonds, the energy in a chemical reaction. Light energy, the energy given off by objects that emit light. Energy efficiency equals useful energy divided by total input times 100. If the nucleus of an atom is unstable, it might emit nuclear radiation in 3 different ways: alpha, beta, and gamma. Alpha radiation is 2 neutrons, 2 protons. Low penetration. Beta radiation is 1 electron. High energy. medium penetration. Gamma radiation is an electromagnetic wave, high energy, high penetration, nuclear fission steps. A neutron is sent into the reactor. The neutron is absorbed by the nucleus of uranium, making it unstable. The uranium nucleus splits into 2 daughter nuclei and 2 or 3 neutrons. The neutrons get absorbed by other uranium nucleus, making the process repeat. The fission produces a lot of thermal energy, which heats the water in the reactor, turning it into steam. The steam is used to spin a turbine, producing kinetic energy, which is converted into useful electric energy. Now let's do some questions. What are the 2 types of waves? Transverse, longitudinal are the right answers. Okay. What is a peak? Top of the wave. What's the trough? The bottom of the wave. The number of waves that pass a certain point in a second are measured in what? And what is this called? The answer is measured in hertz, and it's called frequency. Wavelength. The distance from one point on a wave to the same point in the next wave. Amplitude. The distance from the middle to the peak of the wave. Amplitude determines volume. A small amplitude equals a quiet sound. A high amplitude equals a loud sound. A low frequency equals a frequency times pitch. A low frequency equals a pitch. A high frequency equals a higher pitch. Sound travels. Okay, we will just skip this. What does sound travel at? The speed sound 333 ms. Okay, 350 ms, obviously. What does wave speed equal? Wavelength times frequency. What way is energy is transferred in thermal energy? Hot to cold until what is reached? Thermal equilibrium. 3 methods of heat transfer are conduction, convection, and radiation. Heat transferred through what for each of those? So for conduction it's solid, for convection it is liquids, and for radiation it is infrared waves. What's a renewable resource? One that will never run out. What is a non-renewable resource? Something that won't last forever, something we will eventually run out of. What is kinetic energy? Energy connects to the movement of an object. Or energy linked to the movement of particles, whatever. Thermal energy. Energy links to temperature. Nuclear. Is the energy in the nucleus. Magnetic. The energy between 2 magnetic poles. Electrical. The energy in the circuit. Gravitational potential. The energy stored in a raised object. Elastic potential energy. Energy when it is formed, stretch energy. Chemical energy. The energy stored in bonds, or chemical bonds. And yeah, you can find chemical reactions. Oh, for this would be fun. Light energy. The energy given off by objects that emit light. Okay, so if energy efficiency equals useful energy divided by total input times 100. Okay. If the nucleus is unstable, it will release nuclear radiation. What 3 ways does it do this? Alpha, beta, gamma. What is alpha radiation? 2 neutrons, 2 protons. What is its penetration? Low penetration. What is beta radiation and what is its penetration? It is 1 electron and it has medium penetration. What is gamma radiation and its penetration? It's an electromagnetic wave, and it has a high penetration. Okay, what's step number 1 of a nuclear fission? A neutral sent into the reactor. The neutron is absorbed by the nucleus of uranium, making it what? Unstable. The uranium nucleus splits into 2 what? Daughter nuclei and, well, two or three neutrons. The neutrons get absorbed by other uranium nucleuses, making the process repeat. The fission produces a lot of thermal energy, which heats the water in the reactor, turning it into steam. This steam is used by the turbine, producing kinetic energy, which is converted to useful electric energy. Thank you. And that is today's science driven thing.